Hi everyone, it's Lynn Dion at Pink Whisper Designs, and today I'm really excited to show you this brand new matchbook from Art Impressions. This is the chicken matchbook, and it is just so adorable. And if you're collecting these matchbooks like I am, you will love adding this one to your collection because it is so sweet. And I think it's pretty generic. It can be used for just about anything. So let's go ahead and take a look at this set. So again, this is called the Matchbook Chicken Set, and you do get the coordinating dies. And let me give you a closer look at this. This is just so sweet. We're going to do a really colorful version of this today. I just thought it would be fun to do kind of a whimsical version of this. And for ink, I'm using the Versafine Onyx black ink, which is a permanent black ink. And I've got some Strathmore Bristol Smooth cardstock in my mini MISTI stamp positioner. And I'm just pressing that out with this STAMPendable stamp press. So let's go ahead and do our coloring, and I'm going to be starting off with the sugared almond pink. I'm placing that pink on the cheeks of all of these little critters, and then I'm going to switch to the light gray to do some of the eggs and just adding a little shadow to each of those eggs. And then we'll switch to the sand color to do these little hens. These are the Zig Clean Color Real Brush pens that I'm using, and these are a water-based pen. So I'm using my blender pen to do my blending, but as I always say, you could use a water brush here to do your blending as well. So I'll add a little bit of that color around the edges and just kind of pull in towards the center. And I'm using that same color to add a bit more shadowing. And I will color all of these in the exact same way. I'll switch to the deep red, and then I'm going to blend that out quickly, and then I'll switch over to the orange. And I'll just quickly mention that all of the products I'm using today are listed and linked down below and also on my blog. Now I decided, again, as I mentioned earlier, I wanted to do a whimsical, bright, colorful little chicken coop, and I decided that my fence needed to be lilac, and the little door on the chicken coop will also be in that lilac. So again, I'm just using some whimsical colors, but you could certainly use whatever colors you prefer. We're going to be using a really cute paper pad from Art Impressions that is going to have all of these colors in it. So now I've got the peach pink, and so all of those colors will coordinate with what I'm doing here. So it will really come together once we die cut our paper for the matchbook itself and for the envelope. Now there are separate dies to die cut all of these little pieces, and when these die cut out, it will create the score lines, the fold lines that we need to put this matchbook together. I have done several matchbook videos, and I will list and link those on my blog for you. And there were two new ones that had come out this year, the Matchbook Tool Shed and the Matchbook Cats. For that one, I used a variety of greens, different shades of green. So that one was really fun to do. And for this one, again, I just thought it would be fun to use all these bright, whimsical colors. So you can do this any color combination that you like. And then I filled in with a little bit of green there, and I'm going to make my roof pink. So this is the peach pink that I'm using on the roof. And I'll just add a few highlights and shadows. And just keep in mind that to create the base for the matchbook, it is a separate die set. It is called the Matchbook Template Die Set. And to create the coordinating envelope, you will need the Matchbook Envelope Die Set. So those are two separate sets. And all of these little matchbooks, like the cats and the tool shed and the chickens, these are all add-ons to those base sets. And I'll be talking about those a little bit more, and I'll show you those two sets as well. So now I'm just adding a little shadow kind of down in the little gullies of that roof line. And then I'll just quickly blend that out again. Going back to the light blue for this little basket, I just have that scrap paper down because I don't want to smudge the coloring I've already done. So I'm just kind of sliding that scrap paper up underneath my hand so that I can continue coloring. And I'll just do the handle on that bucket quickly with the green. And then for the base of this little chicken coop, I'm going to use the gray-brown. And for all of the little chicks, I'll color these in the same way using a combination of yellow and orange. So I'm going to lay down that yellow first, and then for my shadowing, I'm going to use the orange. I don't really find in the zigs that there is a really good shadowing color for the yellow. So I tend to either grab the beige or the orange or even a gray sometimes to do some additional shadowing, just to kind of add more layers of color. So the orange here, I'm just adding little tiny touch of it, just almost like some little dots of it, and then I'll blend that in. And I did all the rest of the chickens, the little baby chicks, the exact same way. So now I'll go back to that light green. And I'm going to just finish up all the little details with all the same colors that we've already used. I'm just going to repeat all of these colors, adding a little bit of that platinum brown to the knobs on the cabinet, going back to the peach pink, I decided to put a little bit of light blue in between the posts on the fence just to give it kind of the effect of the sky in the background. So there you can see up close, everything's all colored in, and I just love these bright, fun colors. So I've got those coordinating dies that came with this set. I'm going to tape those down with a little bit of Post-it temporary tape, and then I'll run those through my Sizzix Sidekick machine. And again, these will create the little score lines that we need to do our folding. So let me grab a bone folder and we can start to fold these tabs back. I'm just going to press those out with the bone folder. For this one, you have 2 score lines. So we'll fold it back and then we'll fold it back again. So you're just folding these towards you. And let me show you what that will look like. This one will fold up from the bottom. And then this last one will just fold in. So we've got all these little pieces ready to go. Let's set those aside for now. And here's the Matchbook template die set that I talked to you about earlier. This will create the base for your matchbook. That large die is the base. That one that I'm pointing to there will do a little word sentiment. You have a couple different styles of windows with this set. And then with the Matchbook envelope set, this will fit your matchbook inside, and you get a little mini envelope, a little tag die, and a little bow. So this is really cute. You get some additional dies in that set. Now I've got the Easter Journal paper pack from Art Impressions. This is a double-sided paper pack, and I'll just quickly flip through so you can see all the beautiful colors in this collection. Got a lot of pastels, but it also has these few little bright colors, and we're going to use these 2. And you can see the back side is also very cute. Now we're going to lay the template, the Matchbook template die down, just checking to make sure the colors look really good with what we've done. And whatever side you lay the die on will be the outside. So that the little dots will be the inside of our little chicken coop area. And then same thing with the envelope. This plaid will be the outside. So I'm going to go ahead and take that down. So let's run that through the Spellbinders Platinum 6 die cutting machine. And now we've got the matchbook, the base for our matchbook, and you can see the little score lines that were created. And we're going to fold in, again, I want those dots to be the inside of our matchbook. We're going to fold the two sides in. This flap comes down, and then there's one more little flap at the top, that little scallop flap. And then we're going to fold up from the bottom. So that's pretty simple. That's the base of our matchbook. And it has a little notch on the front where you can just close this up. So once we have that all set, let's go ahead and grab the little pieces and start to put this together. I'm going to be using my Nuvo Deluxe adhesive. So let's start with this piece. I'm going to put some glue on this tab. I'll spread that out with my finger just to make sure I have glue right up to the edge. We'll fold that tab back, and we're going to place it along the left edge and the bottom. You do not want that to drop below the bottom of that paper, because then your little matchbook won't be able to fold up. So we'll take the piece that's for the right side. We'll do the same thing. We'll put some glue on that tab. We'll fold it back on itself and place it right along the right-hand side and along the bottom edge. Again, just checking to make sure it doesn't fall below the bottom. Now for this piece here, we're going to, this has these two tabs, and we're only going to place glue on that back tab. Then we're going to fold that down flat and line that up with the score line on the left and on the bottom. Again, just checking to make sure that doesn't fall below that score line. Now for the right side, we're going to, again, just place glue on that back tab, just the back one. I'm spreading that out with my finger, then we're going to lay those two tabs perfectly flat and push this whole piece flat. And then just make sure we press that down. And I'm just using my bone folder here just to make sure that I press that out really well. So that's what that will look like inside your matchbook. Now for this little grouping, I'm going to put them right up at the very top along that scalloped border. And I don't want to put glue all the way up to the top. I'm just going to put some glue right down towards the bottom. Because those will be sticking up over the top of that scalloped edge. So just placing glue about halfway down, and then we'll line that up. Again, just using the bone folder to press everything out nicely. And then for the bottom flap, we've got the three little baby chicks that are going to pop up, but I also wanted to include the sentiment. So I'm going back to the Matchbook template die set, and I'm grabbing that little one that I mentioned earlier is going to pop up with a little sentiment on it. So I'm die cutting that in the Sizzix Sidekick machine, and then I'll go ahead and stamp that sentiment using the Versafine Clair Charming Pink. And this is just an absolutely gorgeous pink, and it's really going to coordinate well with all of the colors in our background paper. I'm also, for my little stamp acrylic block, I'm using the watercolor travel box from Art Impressions. That comes with a little palette there on the bottom for your watercolors and 3 different sizes of acrylic blocks. So let's grab the medium size and the sentiment. This sentiment was included with this stamp set. and it says Spring Chicken. I'm just prepping it really quickly with my fingers, just rubbing off any film that might be on top of it. And then I like to just stamp this a few times just to make sure I'm getting a nice clear stamping and that I do like the color. So let's go ahead and quickly stamp that sentiment. Now this piece also has a little score line. Right there at the bottom, we're going to fold that back, press that out with the bone folder, and we can attach this to the front area of the flap. Again, I'm just pressing that glue out with my finger, and I'll line this up towards the front of the bottom flap. Now you want to make sure that you don't interfere with the little notch that closes up your matchbook. So you want to be careful to either go in front of that or behind that. So I've got the 3 little chicks. I'm adding a little glue to that bottom tab, and we'll place that down. And here again, I want to check and make sure it's not going to interfere with the folding of this little mechanism. So I'm just checking to make sure that when I lay it flat, it's not anywhere near that score line. I've got my Signo White Gel Pen, and I'm going to add a few highlights here and there. Now let's do the matchbook envelope. You can see all the score lines that are on here, and there's a double score line all the way around. And that will create this little 1/8 inch dimension to our envelope. So I'll continue folding those all the way around the envelope, and then let's fold up the matchbook quickly so that we can place it inside our envelope. I like to close up the envelope once I have my matchbook completed. I know I've said this many times, but it depends how much you add to the inside of your matchbook. So I like to just lay it inside the envelope template, and then I can just fold this closed, and I'll be sure that it fits nicely in there. You want to leave a little room so that you can pull that in and out. And then off camera, I stamped those 3 little chicks again. I colored them in and I die cut those. And then I cut that bottom tab off. These are going to go on the envelope, on the flap of the envelope. And then I'm going to have them sitting on a fence. I'm using the watercolor fence dies from Art Impressions, and you get several different designs in there. But I'm grabbing this one that looks like the fence gate. I'm running that through the Sizzix Sidekick machine. And then we can go ahead and color this in. Now I did color in the 2 little fences inside the matchbook in the lilac, so I'm going to repeat that on the envelope. So I'll quickly color this fence in. And then what we're going to do is place it on the flap of the envelope right underneath those little chicks. There is a little green under the chicks, but we're going to cover that with the top of the fence. So you won't see that. They'll just look like they're sitting on this little fence gate. I'm just adding a few shadows. Now you could certainly color this in your grays and browns, whatever you decide to do here. But I wanted to keep it kind of whimsical. I'll add a little bit of adhesive to the back of this. And I'm going to, again, cover up that green area. So they just look like they're sitting right on the top of the fence. Now this is going to overlap just a little bit, so I'm going to cut that away with my detail scissors. Let's go ahead and open this up, and we can take a closer look at this matchbook. I'm just popping everything up. And look how cute this is. I love these bright colors. This was just so much fun to create. These matchbooks, I don't know what there is about them, but I just love them. I just think they're so adorable. And to close these up, you're going to lay that center part flat, fold in each of these 2 flaps on either side, fold your items on the bottom nice and flat, and then you've got that little notch there that will close this up. So let's go ahead and pop this matchbook right inside the envelope, and that little tab is right behind the chicks heads. So I didn't put any glue right behind the heads of the chicks because I didn't want it to get glued shut. So just be careful of that when you're putting that together. So again, to open this up, you just want to pop everything open. And now you can take a closer look again at the finished matchbook. So if you enjoyed today's video, please hit the like button and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so that you don't miss a single video. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really did enjoy creating this video, and I hope you enjoyed it as well. So I hope you all have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.